What's up, y'all, boy? And today I got a video by J Will. J Will is a formerly incarcerated YouTuber, and he basically just tells stories online about when he was incarcerated. I fuck with him and Bill Feezy. Bill Feezy is really him, bro. I ain't gonna lie. But y'all boys should go check out their channels. Let's get into it. This video is part one of when you can't pay your debt, you will. You will.
I already know what it is. Jay Williams, let's live life. And
Hold on, man. Let's put some respect on it, man. Goddamn. All right.
we're back. What happens when you can't pay your prison debt? My man send the money. Man, they must have messed up on my paperwork. The money ain't there. I'll get you next week. Is there gonna be repercussions?
Bro, in prison, you don't never want to be indebted to nobody, gang. Nobody. I haven't personally been myself, but me knowing the culture, you don't want to be the guy that owns somebody something in prison. If them boy offer a honey bun, don't take the honey bun.
You have to pay that back. What's gonna happen if you can't pay it back? I done seen it all. Let's relive it. So before we start, let me let y'all know I am tired. My little boy is 3. Man, the dude's got so much energy. He's like lightning in a bottle.
I understand.
Decided he wasn't gonna go to sleep till 5:45 this morning. What's about 6:40 now and I'm at work. So I'm a little tired. I ain't had no sleep, but gotta keep the company running. Missed y'all this weekend. I gotta drop this content.
I understand.
So let's get into it. I told y'all before I started off doing time a long time ago. I've seen a whole bunch of, man, so many incidents of dudes getting hurt behind borrowing stuff, owing stuff, not being able to pay for stuff. So I tell y'all, if you ever find yourself locked up, don't take nothing from nobody, don't owe nobody nothing.
I'm telling you,
Just wait
bro.
until you get your own.
I done heard too much stories.
But the average person, they're gonna let hunger get the best of them and they're gonna go get something from somebody. First story I'm gonna tell y'all comes out of good old Philly, man. 215 CFCF, Karen Fromhold Correctional Facility, 7901 State Road. Anybody from Philly that's been through CFCF knows how CFCF gets down.
All right.
Google it. You know, you got inmates, you know, killing other inmates. I think it's this year, last year, they had more murders in that place than anywhere else, man. You know,
Murder
they were
capital.
popping off every other month.
All right.
So this first story I'm gonna give you is about my cellmate, dude by the name of Barry. I'm gonna give you the backdrop on Barry now. Barry decides he's gonna rob some people out in South Philly.
Dumb.
Out there with the pistol, he's got a revolver, he's got it, you know, pointing at these people. The cops drive by, they see him robbing people on the streets. They hop out on him, pull their guns out, freeze, don't move. Barry sees the cops, turns, takes off running. They're chasing Barry. Barry trips, and when he trips, he falls with the gun, and the gun goes off. Boom! Now the cops think that Barry shot at him, so they start shooting at Barry. Barry screams, "Ah!" Throws the gun. He ain't built for all that, right? He ain't trying to bang it out with the cops. He screams, throws the gun. They cuff Barry, take Barry on up out of there.
I'll be sick of the moment I try to do a crime and the cops just there. They just pull up. They on site. What type of luck this nigga have, bro? It's no way.
Barry ends up, becoming my cellmate. Soon as Barry got in there, Barry didn't have nothing, but he kept saying his grandma was gonna send him some money. His grandma's got him, right? I gave him the game. I said, look, man, you can't be borrowing stuff in here and thinking you're not gonna pay these dudes back with it. You're just gonna get over it. It's not gonna happen like that. Like,
it's not,
these
bro.
dudes expect to have that money or they gonna go upside your head.
Or in your
grandma says she's gonna send it. She's gonna send it. I'm like, all right, man, your grandma, you better hope to God she sends it, because you borrowed this stuff last week. We got a couple days till commissary.
Facts.
And if you ain't got that money, you know what I mean, dudes is coming.
They on route.
Day before commissary, you get this little slip whenever you get money sent in. It's almost like a receipt. They bring you this little receipt. Receipt shows you, hey, somebody put money on my books. Barry still ain't got no money.
Mm.
I told Barry, I said, you need to go holler at these dudes, man. Don't wait till store day and they be expecting you to go over there, get that bag, come back and pay them back their food, and you ain't got it. Barry said, nah, it'll be all right, man. It'll be all right. I'm cool with dudes, right? I said, nah, it don't work that way, man. That's not how it works. Sure enough, store day rolls around. They start calling names for commissary.
Mm.
Barry's name don't get called. Barry don't go to commissary.
Because Barry ain't got no money.
It ain't long after that. You know, the dudes that he owes, most of them dudes don't even go to the store. They don't go to commissary because they got so many people that owe them that any money that hits their books, they just let it sit there. Dudes are standing in the doorway, you know, watching all the guys that owe them money go collect their stuff. Then the guys will go to their cell, drop their bag off, sort through it, and then take what they owe over to the guys they owe. Commissary people roll out. Barry ain't get no bag. I'm looking around. I done got my commissary. I see dudes that he owes, and he owes like 4 or 5 different people. And they're all, you know, caught up in the midst of collecting the money that everybody else owes them.
Yeah.
You know, some guys might owe for cigarettes, weed, drugs, gambling, you know, store box and commissary, wine, you name it. If you owe, you got to pay.
No doubt.
Everybody's don't want to pay these dudes now, except for Barry. So they keep glancing over in the direction of my cell, and Barry's in the cell sitting on the bunk like, I'm going to go holler at him. I'm going to go holler at him. I said,
All this waiting, they're going to come to you.
I see the first dude come on over. Dude comes to the cell, says, Jay, I need to holler at your cellmate. That's his way of telling me I need to go in there. It's probably going to get physical. I ain't trying to disrespect you by doing this in your house.
Disrespect him.
But I need to holler at him. I said, all right, man. So I step out the cell and stand by the door. I hear him talking. Barry's like, man, Grandma said she sent it, but it just ain't. And all I hear is, wow, open hand slap. I look in the cell. Barry's holding his face. Dude told him, get my shit. Walks out the cell. About 5, maybe 10 minutes later, another dude comes to the cell. He said, Jay, you already know what it is. I said, yeah. I told dude, man. I step outside. Dude goes in there, roughs Barry up, grabs him up by his neck, slams him against the wall, bangs his head a couple times.
Damn.
Beats on him a little bit, like not in his face, but body beats him. Boom, 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 boom. Fucking Barry's ribs up.
Body work.
This is all in a 10-minute period. He's already
fucking
been hit
up
by,
the liver.
You know, 2 different dudes. Third dude comes to the cell, pretty much same scenario. Slaps Barry up, punches him in his face a couple times. By now, the other dudes come over and they tell him, I don't give a fuck who you owe. Next time we go to the store, if you ain't got my shit, I'm going to stomp you. You know what I mean? You already nodded up. I think you get the message. He owed like 5 different dudes money. You get the message.
I feel like he the type of nigga that tries to pay debt with more debt. And that's gonna get him killed for real.
We're not playing. So Barry looks at me, he's like, Jay, man, can I said, nah, bro, I'm not loaning it to you. There's a message in everything. You know what I mean? How you go from owing them to owing me, then I end up having to put hands on you. We fall out in the cell. No, sir. I told you from the gate, do not be borrowing shit from these dudes. You knew it all. Now you got to figure this shit out, man. You better get on the phone to your grandma and have her, you know, come up here and drop the check in the mailbox out front. You know what I mean? We roll around. Days go by. Barry says, oh, man, my grandma says she sent it, but she ain't put no damn stamp on the envelope and it got sent back. Here we are, 3 days before store again. Dudes are also watching when mail time comes around to see if Barry gets any type of mail. You know what I mean? Because you'll see him get that little slip. They all know Barry ain't got no money, right?
Mm-hmm.
I never expected, I mean, now I do, but I didn't expect at the time what happened next, right? They're coming by and they're doing count one night, and as they're walking by, you know, they look in, they mark down both people are there, then count clears, you know, they turn in all the numbers. They need to account for all the people in the building. As the guards are walking by, Barry goes, hey, come here, come here, come here. The guard comes back and they're like, what's up, man? He said, I want to go to the hole. The guard said, what, you checking in? Checking in means...
Well, he in there with his dog, bro, at work?
you're voluntarily going to the hole. You fear for your life. You go into the hole with hopes of when you come out, they're gonna put you somewhere else in the compound, so you don't have to go back around these guys you got issues with.
Mm-hmm.
Barry said, "Yeah, man, I want to go to the hole, man." They said, "Well, you ain't done nothing wrong. You ain't going to the hole." Barry said, "I fear for my life." They said, "Look, man, we ain't got time for this. If you owe somebody, you need to pay the people, whatever you got going on."
Exactly.
The hole is packed. Barry said, "Okay." We come out after count. You got this our ordinary day room area, then you got an upper area where we eat at and stuff, and there's an officer station up there, right? So Barry goes up there, tells the guard, "I want to go to the hole." Everybody can hear this. Everybody sees him checking in, but if he owes somebody money, they're not gonna go up there and attack him in front of the guard, because A, they're going to the hole, and B, everybody else that owes them money, they're not gonna be able to collect that money. So they got to catch Barry when he's away from the guards. Barry tells him, "I said I want to go to the hole." "No, you're not letting you check in. I mean, the hole is full."
He better start
Barry
smacking
spazzes
niggas.
out, takes his arm, and clears everything off the CO's desk. It's like a little desk area up there at the front of the pod, right next to where
I
they
don't think
serve
that's enough
trays and stuff.
to go to the hole.
Computer screen, everything they got there. Barry, boom, slams it all off the desk. Shit hits the floor, goes everywhere. The guard jumps up. "You done lost your fucking mind." Grabs Barry, runs him up against the window, slams him, cuffs him, hits the code. They come in,
Damn.
take Barry's ass to the hole. That's just.
I would have thought of the CO no game for real. He would have left his ass right there. Let the inmates handle him.
I've seen situations where they go back and try to make the cellmate pay dudes debt. I wasn't doing that.
Hell no.
I was young, dumb, violent, wilding out. I've been wilding out since I got in there. Been in a bunch of confrontations, several different fights. I got into fighting with an officer in the cell. Like, dudes knew I would thump. But I'd seen other situations where your cellmate checks in, and these dudes come to you and say, "Hey, let us get that money." What you mean let you get that money? That was your homeboy. He's gone now. This is your debt. The next one I seen, man, this was kind of crazy. And this is, just another one of these crazy stories, man. Where I was at Greensville, I was in 7th building. That's like the Terror Dome. That's what they used to call it. It goes down in 7th building. If you get thrown in 7th building, you come from the hole, whatever, like you go in 7th building, you know two things. A, that bitch is off the chain. It's jumping. All the drugs, all the alcohol, everything you want is right there in 7th building. And B, 7th building is very violent. People get stabbed. A lot of gang members. They got a whole entire pod that's nothing but gang members, and then gang members mixed throughout the entire building. We have a dude in there, man, that comes in, and this dude is a white dude, typical white dude, got some tattoos on him and stuff, maybe 180, 185 pounds, about 6 foot tall. Same scenario. This dude comes in and he starts borrowing stuff from everybody. Now, I told y'all, if you watch the channel, you rock with me, you've seen all the stories. I had a dude in the cell next to me named Jingling.
I remember him.
Jingling was notorious booty bandit. Jingling was known for turning out white boys. Jingling was known for taking that ass. Jingling was serious when it came to his love and infatuation for white boys and being a booty bandit.
And you don't want to owe him nothing.
This white dude runs up a tab with everybody. I mean, a bill with everybody. Come store day, he can't pay it. Dudes are ready to get at him. When you walk in the pod with that commissary bag, all the store box guys that are owed money, they'll stand up there and you might hear somebody say, "Yo, you know what I mean? If you owe it, throw it. If you owe me, throw me." Dude ain't going to commissary. He don't know what to do. He knows he's gonna get smashed. He might get stabbed. These are gang members he owes him. They gonna do something real bad to him over this money, man. Plus, he been smoking weed, so he owes this dude $40, this dude $40, this dude $40. The bar cigarettes.
This nigga is crazy. He out here smoking weed and all other people money, bruh.
Try everybody. Man,
he's going to die if you don't find a way.
A bag of chips and a soda can get your ass stabbed or get your front teeth knocked out, or get you stomped out in the middle of a cell, or just completely beat up, right? Dude is walking around going to people, trying to borrow stuff to pay other people back. Thinking that's just gonna be his way out. Well, I'll just borrow it from other people and then go pay them back.
I knew it. I knew this nigga was paying debt with more debt, bro. He's stupid.
That's a no-no. If somebody knows you're doing that, they're gonna say no. You know what I mean? Like I said with Barry, how you gonna come to me and try to get something for me to pay that man, and now you owe me, but you paid him? What would make you think that I don't think I'm not gonna get paid?
Oh shit. I feel like I know where this story going, gang. He's gonna go to Jangalang to pay off a debt. And Jangalang, knowing that he can't pay off the debt, gonna get him some ass. I already know,
what I mean?
bro.
If you can't pay him, you can't pay me.
I feel
He's
it
going
coming.
to everybody that he hasn't borrowed something from and asking them. Everybody saying, "Nah, man. You know, motherfuckers told you to stop borrowing stuff. You got to learn. It's just how prison is." Here comes Jingling. I'm standing in my doorway, smoking a cigarette. Done with the commissary, just chilling. You know what I mean? Watching what's going on around me. Watching these dudes running around like chickens with their heads cut off from cell to cell, taking soups to this cell, sodas to this cell, cigarettes to this dude. You know what I mean? Just paying all their debts. As dudes walking trying to borrow stuff, Jingling calls him. "Hey, yo, come here, come here." Dude comes over the cell. Jingling says, "Who all do you owe, man?" And I already know where Jingling's going with this. Jingling's gonna pay the debt. He tells him, "I owe T, I owe Nate, man, I owe," you know what I mean? He starts listing off all the people.
God.
He's like, "Bring me the list of all the stuff you owe and let me check it out." So he brings him the list. Jingling's looking at the list. He's like, "Damn, dog, you owe a lot of shit." You know what I mean? Like, people ain't playing behind us. You probably gonna end up getting stabbed. Dude's like, "Can you help me out? Can you help me out?" Jingling's like, you know what I mean? I'm standing 5 feet from him in my doorway. Jingling standing in his doorway. Dude's in front of him. Jingling said, "Yeah, I can help you out, but you gonna have to help me out."
No.
He said, "Yeah, I'll get you back. I'll get you back." You know what I mean? With interest. Jingling said, "Nah, ain't no get me back with interest. I don't want the commissary. I don't want the cigarettes."
I want some
He
ass.
said, "Well, what you want me to send money your books?" Jingling said, "Nah, I want that ass."
Yeah.
I said, "What?" I said, "I want that ass. Like, slide up in the cell, let me get that ass, and I'll give you the commissary.
No.
I'll give you the cigarettes, I'll give you everything you need to go pay it off. I'll put it in the bag before you even come in here." Dude said, "Man, you tripping." He said, "Man, you better look the fuck around, look where you at. These dudes ain't playing. You got, like, T is a gorilla. T is standing in the door looking down at dude like, when this dude done played me. You know what I mean? Nate is a gorilla. Nate's doing the same thing. Sleeps a couple cells down from T looking down like, yeah, this motherfucker's trying to borrow money."
This nigga Jangling is an opportunist. He's an
"You
opportunist.
ain't got my money." I knew where this was going. Jingling done told him, "You come up off them cheeks, man. Come up off that ass and pay that debt.
Come
Or
up
they
off
coming
them
out here and they gonna
cheeks.
stab you up and smash you." You can see it on dude's face like, man, he ain't got no other option. I'd have took the ass whoop. First of all, I'm not a dummy. I'm not gonna put myself in those situations. I've seen this time and time again. This dude slides in the cell with Jingling. Jingling closes the door at that point there. I walk off. I'm not trying to hear it, because you're going to hear it. I'm not trying to smell it. His cell was right next to mine. You're going to smell it, and you know what I mean by smell it. Maybe 10 minutes passes. Dude comes on out the cell. He's got a bag of stuff over his shoulder. Jingling steps into his doorway, looks around everybody. He's got this grin on his face. Like,
No.
yeah, y'all know what just happened. Dude goes to his
No.
cell, splits the commissary up, and goes and pays everybody. Everybody's seen him do this. Now, you got dudes in the pod that would rather have that ass than have that commissary.
This is gonna start a chain reaction for this nigga, bro. Cause once I feel like once the other inmates know that you like that and you weak for real, they're gonna prey on you, gang.
It wouldn't be long after this dude would just start going to dudes that he would get stuff from and say, "Look, instead of me just paying you back, why don't I just come in the cell and we close the door, handle our business, and we'll just call it even."
Bruh.
This is the type of shit that I gotta live with inside of my head.
Oh my God.
These are the type of things I had to witness. These are just a couple of these stories. I could make this a 5-hour long video, but I'm not going to. I just wanted to give y'all a glimpse into what can possibly happen if you get locked up and don't pay somebody. You think that if you fight, that debt is paid? No, that debt is not paid. That just means you got beat up, and next week, you're going to get beat up again. And if you ain't got it the following week, you're going to get beat up again. And eventually they're going to get tired of beating you up, and they're going to try to take you up out of here or do something to you so bad that you got to be taken off to the infirmary or med flighted to the hospital. Some dudes might not even beat you up. Some of them dudes, you know, owe jingling some money and see what happens.
Yeah.
There ain't going to be no discussing. There ain't going to be no waiting on it. It's going to happen. I tell y'all these things to try to keep y'all from having to live through these things, from having to see these things, from closing your eyes and remembering the things you've been through. These aren't pleasant memories from me. You know, these aren't things I like thinking about or remember seeing, but that's the facts of the matter. And that's what makes me react and act the way I act out here in this world. Because I don't want no parts of that world. To anybody running around getting high, thinking shit's sweet, they will put you in there with Jingling.
Facts.
They will put you in there with T. They will put you in there with Nate.
Not give a fuck either.
To anybody thinking they can run these streets, mom and daddy don't know what they talking about. On the day that you find your ass in prison and you start seeing these things happen, I want you to think back to this video. Think back to my warnings. I wish the best for everybody. Unless you're doing something that's hurting other people, hurting women, hurting children. Each one teach one, each one reach one. But like I've told y'all before, man, these institutions, they're just crazier worlds inside of this already crazy world we live in. And as always, y'all know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to keep y'all entertained. Are you not entertained? And like always, this is Jay Williams, Let's Live Life. Y'all know what it is, Jay Williams, Let's Live Life, and we're back. Part 2. So you think you're gonna owe and not pay? Oh, you gonna pay. Let's relive it. So I gave y'all part 1 yesterday, and after doing the video, I got to think about it. I'm like, man, I've seen this shit so many times. So much of this happened that it's not enough. I need to give them more. So that's what we're doing today.
That's a bet, Jay.
Today we're gonna jump into some more.
That's a bet.
First story I'm gonna give y'all is about a dude named Miles.
All right.
Miles was, let me break Miles down for you. Miles was a thief. Miles was a light-skinned black dude, tall. He could dunk. I'd seen him dunk on the court a bunch of times.
Yeah, I've let it.
Probably good 6'2", 6'3". But Miles had no hands. I'd seen Miles call a dude out over the poker table one time, and Miles loved to play poker. He called dude out, accused dude of cheating.
Got his ass.
You know,
whipped.
and that's something you don't do. You don't call a man out his name in prison. You don't call a man a liar. You don't call a man a thief. You don't call a man a boy. You don't, you know, there's a lot of things you don't say. We'll get into that.
Just don't disrespect for real.
But he accused this dude of cheating at the poker table, right? This dude is, I would say, 2/3 of the size of Miles. Miles is running his mouth, blah, 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 blah. Beat your ass. We're going to sell pussy, blah, 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 blah.
Oh.
Dude ain't doing a whole lot of talking. Dude is just kind of listening to what Miles is saying. Already got his shoes on. Miles goes over to his cell, straps up, puts his boots on. So we call it strapping up. Puts his boots on, makes his way down towards the younger dude's cell. And the younger dude's cell, he's like, nah, y'all ain't going in there and fighting. Y'all ain't gonna break my TV, mess my shit up. Like in Virginia, we can have these 13-inch flat screens you can order. When I first came in, it was a 5-inch black and white, but then they went to the 13-inch, right? So the dude makes his way down to Miles' cell. Dish rags Miles. Beats the hell out of Miles. And the way dude's cell is set up, it's positioned to the poker tables and where we're all at. So you ain't really got to be looking over there or go out your way to go see the fight. They're fighting with the door open. And we're all, just glimpsing over, trying not to draw the attentions of the guard to the fight going on in the cell. This dude, 2/3 of Miles' size, beats the shit out of Miles, right? So now Miles his respect has gone down. Clearly. Everybody expected him
to fight,
to go in there and just smash dude. I mean, he's a big dude, he's tall.
But he's a bitch.
His talk game, his bark was real loud. Everybody's thinking, man, he's gonna hurt this dude in that cell, right? Dude smashes him.
Mm.
Takes a couple days. You know, Miles is walking around with his tail tucked between his legs, and he took a loss in front of everybody. I still respect it. You went in there and fought. You got my respect, but you shouldn't have been doing.
Nah, bruh. Nah, bruh. Cause niggas gonna smell blood, bruh. They don't care if you in a prison fight and you lose like OD bad and you lost all the respect, niggas gonna smell blood, bruh. They gonna take
All that
advantage.
loudmouth, and if you knew you didn't have hands like that.
If you can't fight, I can take this from you, smack you. What you gonna do, bruh? What are you gonna do?
It was like watching a teenage girl fight a grown man.
Lose another
Miles
fight?
was just like had his head turned sideways and just throwing like windmill punches. And dude could fight. Dude was blocked and just ping him all up.
You one of
Miles, after a
those.
couple days, goes back to the poker table, and people check in for a lot of reasons. It's gonna lead to Miles checking in. You already know that. People check in for a lot of reasons. It can be the building has got too violent and you can't take the heat. People are getting hurt every day. People are getting stabbed. People might be getting their ass snatched, stealing. There's gangs, a whole cluster of things that can make a person feel like they're no longer comfortable where they're at and they got to get out of there. I always understood from the beginning that no matter where I go, there I am. You know what I mean? You can drop me in the worst, you can drop me in the best. I'm still going to conduct myself the same way. Nothing's going to make me run. I've never ran out here. I'm not going to start running in there. And the only way you can run in there is to go to the hole. What the blood dudes, they got their hands in everything.
Mm-hmm.
They got their hands in the drugs. They got their hands in the tobacco. They got their hands in store boxing. I've seen them extort tattoo guys. I've seen it all. But at this particular moment, they started running the poker table. And they were running like 3 games at once. Miles can't resist. He's got to get out there. He's got to play poker.
Miles is
Just
stupid.
got your ass whooped by this dude in front of everybody.
Don't
Everybody
get your
knows
ass
you got
whooped
no
again.
hands. Miles always goes to the store, gets commissary. He's got somebody on the streets. They showing him love. You know, he goes and gets that big bag every other week. He comes back with that bag over his shoulders. Sometimes the bag be so big, it's, you know what I mean, look like it's bending you in half while you're trying to tote this big bag of food and 48 sodas. Miles sits down at the poker table, and these dudes are just straight running game. The whole game is set from the beginning. You ain't got no chance of winning. They let Miles get up a little bit, let him win a little bit of money. We go in for count, you know. They say you want to keep the poker game going or you want to cash out. Most games, there's a limit. You're not going to just come in and win $3 or $4 and be like, all right, I quit. Nah, there's a limit. If we're going to play, we're going to say we're going to play from, you know, from 5 until lockdown tonight, till late night lockdown, right? So that's the agreement. You know what I mean? You go.
That's retarded, bro. That's retarded. Because it's set up. He's already set up to lose. If I can't get out while I'm up, and you're forcing me to play until I lose everything, it's set up. I'm set up to
the game
lose.
is over, not just get some money and leave. Miles makes his little money, and after count, comes out and tells him, "Look, I'm good, man. You know what I mean? I'm out. I ain't gonna play no more. Nah, you gonna play some more. You know what I mean? What you mean you good? You gonna take my money and not give me a chance to get back?" So Miles knows he's got no wins, 0. You know what I mean? There's so many of these dudes that are gonna smash you, and even on a one-on-one tip, the average one of them would smash you. He sits down back at the table. I told y'all it always goes bad. Here we go. Miles loses everything. We don't go to commissary for another 2 days. So a lot of what these dudes are betting is until store day. You know what I mean? You've already dropped your slip. You know what commissary you got coming.
Mm-hmm.
Miles has already lost the little bit of cosmetics and stamps. You know what I mean? A couple bags of chips he won before count. After count, they're gambling again. That's all gone. By the time that night comes around, Miles has now ran up a debt to the point that he owes these boys like $175 in commissary, which is everything he's got coming on store day, on commissary day. Like another $100-some additional that his people on the outside are going to have to send in to this other inmate. You can see it in his face. How these dudes didn't see it, I don't know. I peeked it from the gate. That dude's checking in.
Mm-hmm.
At this point in time, we had guys checking in every single week. Every store day, 2-3 guys were going to the offices. I want to go to the hole. I fear for my life. They're going to stab me. Whatever the case may be. I saw it in Miles. I knew it. Somehow, I guess they figured we'd rather take a chance and get our money than pursue something and scare him and he run off. Miles tells his celly. Now this is going to get crazy. Miles tells his celly
We listening?
his plan. And why you would ever tell somebody that you plan on bucking on all these people and pulling the bitch card and going to the hole.
Retarded.
I'll never understand.
That's
I don't
dumb,
respect
bro.
no check-ins.
That's dumb, bro.
If you've ever done any check-ins, like, I'm going to tell you now, I don't respect it. I don't respect anybody that can't man up and take what's coming their way. Miles Selly goes to the blood dudes and tells them he's checking in. He's going to the hole. Like the day that we go to commissary, he's going to go get his commissary, and he's going to come back. He's going to go up the staircase. At the time, we were in 300 pod. So you got 1 and 2 on the bottom. Then you go up a set of stairs, and it's a whole different part of the building, 3 and 400. Well, to get up to your pod, you have to go through this staircase where there's no cameras, there's no guards.
Yeah.
It's just a staircase that goes up. Dudes, he tells his cellmate, tells the blood dudes. I mean, guess trying to get in their good graces. You know, maybe he just didn't like Miles for whatever reason. He goes and tells them, Miles is checking in on store day, man. Yeah, he said he's going to get his bag and he's going to carry his ass right in the sergeant's office, sit down, tell him to go pack his stuff up. He's ran up debts. He don't want to get stabbed. He's scared for his life. Take him to the hole.
This why you can't tell nobody nothing, bro. You can't tell nobody no information at all, bro.
By now, a couple different one of them. At the time, my cellmate was blood, and my cellmate tells me, he's like, yo, we're going to smash Miles out and rob him in the staircase.
Can't tell nobody your
when he
plans,
comes back
nothing
with his
like that.
bag before he can get to the sergeant's office. I'm like, what you mean we? Like, I ain't blood. What you mean we? He's like, me.
And I'm not saying this as a guy who's like been to prison. I've never been there. I'm saying this as a guy who's been watching Jay Will and Bill Feasy, and I know the culture. I know it.
My people, man. We're gonna get him in the staircase. We're gonna rob him. We're gonna smash Miles out, right? I said, oh man, well y'all try to like, you know what I mean? Don't kill the man. Like we just came off lock, man. We stayed on lock. Every time somebody got stabbed, we're going lock for 2 weeks. They come in, shake down, search for weapons. So Miles, regular routine. They call first 15 for commissary. That means 15 inmates. You know, if you made commissary, you got to go to another building to get your stuff. It's a little window. They push it out. They count it, mark it off. You get your bag. You come back. You put your stuff in your cell. First 15 for commissary can exit. I exit out with the group of Miles in them, right? Bunch of blood dudes in the group. You got some other dudes right in front. I get my commissary. They start calling names, and it's in no particular order. Williams.
Oh, young Jay Will.
Step up to the window. You know, I'm getting my zooms, my whams, my tuna fishes, you know, powdered milk, cereal, all the stuff I ate, oatmeal, and I'm walking slow. You know what I mean? Kind of, I guess you could say I'm being nosy because I want to see what's going to take place with Miles, right? So first I fall back after I get my bag. I'm standing there in line. I'm talking to a couple dudes I know. Just chopping it up in the hallway. You got people walking down this hallway, going to different parts, going to school and, you know, vocational classes or whatever. Guard sees me. Hey, you got your bag. Keep it moving. Go back to your building. I said, all right, man. So I peel over to the building. I go over to my building, walk in. A couple dudes coming out of 100 and 200. I was in 100 previously. I went to the hole and they relocated me to 300. I'm once again stalling, right? Trying to see what's going on. I look over through the door and I see Miles coming. Now, the way the staircase is set up is, if you're in the staircase, you can see outside the building. The whole front of where the staircase is and that front of the building is just glass, like big plexiglass. So if you're walking by the building from the outside, you can see the staircase. But if the sun hits it right, it's blinding you. You look and it reflects in your eyes. Well, I'm inside, so I can see Miles. Miles can't see anybody on the staircase because of the glare from the sun. I go on
They're
the
waiting for his
staircase,
ass.
and it's so many people when I come in there that I got to be like, yo, excuse me, let me get by. Because they're crowded, and they're crowded right around the corner when you go up the second set, so that when you come in the first one, you don't see nobody. They're waiting. They're watching. Wolves are hungry. They're about to eat. Miles makes his way into the staircase. You can hear it because the door opens, and then the door slams. Boom. He comes up. And as he turns the corner and he sees these dudes, he tries to turn and run back down.
Nah.
Grab him by the back of his shirt, grab his bag, pull him over into the corner, and just commence to just decimate
Wham on him.
The one dude has already took his bag, like they snatched from the one blood is throwing the bag over his shoulder, went up the staircase and went into the pod like he just came back from commissary. Your commissary is already gone now. They smashed Miles. When I mean smashed, they went way overboard, man. They did it to the point that there was bloody footprints coming up the staircase from where they had broke his nose, crushed his eye sockets, kicked out teeth. Like they just, after the first, I'd say 10 seconds, Miles was unconscious. And it fell back and was laying on his back, and they were stomping his face. I mean, just coming down, stomping on his face as hard as they could. Full boot, prison boot, straight to his face. All that was just smushed. They're stomping. I'm sure they done killed him. By now, I roll out. Maybe 3 minutes passes by, and one of the boys, which is one of the gay dudes, comes running up the stairs, and all these blood dudes, they done skirted out, but they done left bloody footprints everywhere they went. You could tell what pod they went to.
Mm-hmm.
He comes running up there and tells the sergeants, hey man, there's a dude in the staircase bleeding everywhere. I think he's dead. I think he's dead. I think he's dead. Lock down. Lock down. 340 pod, lock down. So I'm like, fuck, man. We lock down. They go out there. Miles is still unconscious. Miles is bleeding profusely. They start trying to roll the cameras back from the entryway outside of our pods to see who came out the staircase. You got me coming out. I'm not gang affiliated. I'm clear. You got other dudes that aren't gang affiliated. They're clear. It's clear that whoever did this, it was a group of them. So they come by and they start questioning everybody they seen on the camera. They come to my cell and they're like, did you see anything happen in the staircase?
I ain't see
Nah, what
shit.
happened in the staircase? Did you see anything happen in the staircase?
No, officer.
Nah, what happened in the staircase? Let me see your boots. So I'm like, all right. So I take my boots off, show them the bottom of my boots. Let me see your hands. Show them my hands. What they're looking for is any damage to my hands from fighting, any blood on my boots. They're like, all right, this is the COs and the guards now. This isn't immediately. This is maybe a day later. We've been locked down now when they come by checking boots and checking hands, right? A couple of the blood dudes get taken up out of there. Not all of them, like 2 or 3 of them get taken up out of there. That's because they had blood on their shoes, blood on their, the dudes. Come on, man, I seen him in the hallway. I walked by that shit. I stepped in the blood. I ain't do nothing. A couple of dudes got marks on their hands. It'd have been a bad time. They've gotten fight with somebody else and get your hands checked because you're going to jail for what happened to Miles, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think happened next? Miles wakes up in the infirmary. Miles is going now to get reconstructive surgery. They have crushed his face to the point that I'm pretty sure he's still disfigured to this day, that he looks like Elephant Man. Miles pressed charges on every single last one of those dudes and several dudes that weren't even involved.
They're gonna whip his
You had a
ass
couple blood
again.
dudes that stood there just in case. I don't know why. I watched to oversee to make sure it got done right. That got charges. Every last one of those boys went back to court for malicious wounding on account of Miles trying to check in. I'm gonna give y'all one more. I'm gonna try to make it brief. I'm trying to do my videos a little longer, man, because I got a lot I need to get out of my head.
I
I
got
want
you.
to share with y'all.
It's all right,
And I
Jay.
don't think I'm doing it in the time that I've been doing it. So the next one is about this dude named Lop, right? I knew Lop from the streets. I met Lop when I was like 13. And he had just come out of prison.
All right.
L-O-P, Lop. I thought at meeting Lop at 13 and him just coming out of prison, Lop is a gangster. You know what I mean? Here I am 13. This dude just got out of the Bing. Let me explain something to you. Going to prison don't make you gangster.
At all.
Just because you went to prison doesn't mean you was rocking out. Doesn't mean you was banging out. Doesn't mean you was fighting. Doesn't mean you was holding it down. I've seen some of the softest dudes you could ever imagine go to prison. You could be a nerd, commit a crime, and you're going to prison. Now you make it out. That don't mean you a killer. Don't mean you a gangster. You probably didn't have a very good time. But Lop always came off as a dude that was gangster. You know what I mean? Tattoos all over him. Good sized dude. I'm 13. I'm thinking, damn. Dude's an OG. Wouldn't be long, he'd get locked back up. I meet him. I'm probably, when I run into him again as an adult, I'm probably 26, 27. And he comes in the pod, and it's been so long now This is like his 4th prison trip. I didn't even recognize him. Didn't know who he was. He recognized me, and I don't know how you recognize somebody that's now 26 from when they were 13, but I guess he had one of those memories where he just couldn't forget a face, right? So I'm on the bench one day chopping up with my homeboy, laughing and talking about something. I think ESPN was on the TV out in the pod. My cell was right in front of the pod TV, and these like benches almost, like bleachers, but if you chopped them down and put them in single rows like church pews, there was 2 of them. Painted blue, we're sitting there laughing, and dude comes up and he's like, Jay? And I look up and I'm laughing at my homeboy, and I look up and I'm like, yeah, what's up, man? He was like, you Jay, right? And I was like, yeah. He was like, Lop. I said, all right, what's up, Lop? He was like, Lop, man, you don't remember me? And I was like, Lop. Like, he's like, man, you used to be around my way when you was a youngin', when you was like 13. I said, oh, Lop, yes, yeah, you the dude with the big ass rose tattoo.
I feel like he was just saying shit just to say shit. You know how that be, bro.
You know, all the thorns and shit. He's like,
oh yeah. Yeah, I remember you.
I said, this is it. That's what I've been up to. How long you been locked up? A couple years now. How much longer you got? You know, a couple years now. Don't really get much of the information, you know what I mean? I hear from another one of my homeboys. He's like, you know, he sees us talking and shit, and he's like, yo, stay away from dude, man. I said, wow, what's up with him? It's like, he's a check-in artist. He's a check-in artist. He was like, yeah, I was on the other side of the compound with him, and he ran up a big-ass debt over there and took off. Checked in. Like, boys over there want to get at him. I said, word, you seen it? He was like, yeah, I seen it. I was in the pod with him. I said, okay. So it's a little bit, it's crazy because I remember this shit. I had a homeboy named Snake. Snake used to always run his mouth. You know what I mean? I could take you in a fight. I could take you in a fight. And I knew Snake couldn't take me because I had already beat a dude that Snake lost to. But Snake was still my homeboy, man. So me and Snake, and this is the same night. This is how I can remember it. That night, Snake is like, yo, talking that shit, man, just bullshit. And I said, well, what's up with the friendly fade then? A friendly fade is when you just go in the cell and y'all just fight. Just to, I know this sounds crazy, sounds barbaric, just to see where each other is at. Just to see, can you beat me? Can I beat you? Let's go ahead and put this to rest. We're going to rumble, you know what I mean? If you drop, I'll let you get up. I ain't going to kick you or knee or nothing like that. You know what I mean? Some dudes agree to just doing bodies. It's like slap boxing, but using your fist. Now, do slap box just to see where your hands is at. When we friendly fade, we shoot the fist. So that night, man, me and Snake, we sitting out there talking. I'm like, what's up, man? You get the fade, bro. We can go in the cell and see what it is, and we'll come back out here and laugh afterward. So Snake is like, fuck it. I mean, come on, let's do it. I said, all right, so we go in the cell. Me and Snake line it up. Boom, 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 boom. We go to wrecking. You know what I mean? I got Snake, and I push him. When I do, he clips the back of his legs, falls over the toilet, and I grab his shirt because I don't want him to smash his head on the floor. Like, I'm not trying to kill you. We was just putting hands on each other to see where you at.
Yeah.
About that time, my door opens, and the dude Lop runs up and tries to kick my homeboy Snake that's on the ground, right? So I let Snake go running, shove Lop the fuck back. What the fuck is you doing? He's like, I thought you were in here wrecking, man. That's my homeboy. That's my homeboy. So I helped Snake up. Snake's trying to get Lop to come in the cell. Now Lop won't come. He's like, bro, we was shooting a friendly fade, man. We was just fucking around. He's like, oh, I ain't know. That's my homeboy. I said, yo, you're not my homeboy, man. Don't ever get involved in what I got going on. Don't come back to my fucking cell. My homeboy's gonna beat your ass because you tried to kick him in his face, you know what I mean? Once he fell, like, I don't fuck with you, man. I done heard you checked in across, you know, the fucking other side of the compound. Stay away from me, man. But I known you since I don't care what you knew about me, man. This is a different world that don't matter. You're not gonna fight for yourself, man. You just come over here and try to attempt to bank this dude. We don't do that over here. We're not banking nobody.
We ain't knowing that.
I can tell he's butt hurt. He walks off, right? He is going to all different types of dudes in the pod, and he's borrowing stuff. He's another one that likes to gamble. Why these dudes can't get it through their head
Because they
after years of
stupid.
incarceration that gambling is not a good look, I don't know. Come store day, and at this point now, I'm back downstairs, and I'm in 100 pod. Come store day, this dude gets his bag, and he's pulling the check-in move. Lop ain't paying nobody. Dudes that done come to me prior to this and be like, yo, dude, man, he's trying to borrow some stuff. He said you his homeboy. And I would tell them, no. If I co-sign for him, and I tell them, dude, yeah, he's all right, man. He's a good dude. Give it to him. If something happens and he don't pay, I become liable for it because I signed for it. It's
Mm-hmm.
like you co-signing a car for somebody. If they don't make the payments, they gonna come after your ass for the money. You co-sign a house for somebody, co-sign somebody's bond. Once you stamp your name on it, your word is your bond. If that person's not solid, they're coming to you.
They come to you.
No. My homeboy said he checked in on the other side of the yard. You know what I mean? I don't rock with him. Not my people. No. Don't give him nothing on the strength of me. That's not my dude. I had to tell a lot of different dudes this. But dudes don't listen. You know what I mean? They're still going to make their own judgment, do what they want. Well, maybe it was something different. That's why he went to the hole. I don't know. I ain't see it. I ain't want to judge him. Come store day, we all go out. He's in line. 7, 8 people behind me. We're getting our commissary. I get mine. I make my way back to the building. I put my stuff up. Walking out in the pod, collecting stuff people owe me. Dudes owe me for tattoos. Like, I'll give you a little bit to bring it to me, but a lot of times I'll just go to your cell and be like, hey, you got that? If I know you've already been to commissary, I'm going to come get that if you ain't came and see me yet. So I'm walking around gathering stuff, and they call the next 15 for commissary. And Lop ain't came back yet. You didn't just disappear. You already got your bag. Where you at? Why you ain't come back in, right? And I hear different dudes going, hey, man, old boy's checking in upstairs. They're telling everybody, like, he's upstairs right now scared, and he's checking in. He's done went upstairs with his bag and is sitting in the sergeant's office. And when you tell them you want to check in and you want to go to the hole, they put you in handcuffs. So he's sitting there with his hands cuffed behind his back, sitting in a chair, and the sergeant's desk is right there. You got the sergeant and another CO right there. All these dudes from my pod, when they call 15 for commissary, they want to see if this is really him checking in upstairs. Some of these dudes don't care about busting your ass in front of a guard. If they know the only chance they're ever going to get at you again is right then and right there, then they'll do it. Some of these dudes don't have a lot, so that $5 or $6 you might owe them is a lot to them. A bunch of these dudes go upstairs, man. Like,
You gotta remember, some of these niggas got life, so they don't care. They don't care if they get caught. They don't care if the CEO's in front of them. They don't give a fuck because they're gonna add more on to life.
for these dudes that go up there, and
Niggas
they're
don't
standing
care.
outside the sergeant's office, and he's sitting there in the chair in this plexiglass room, and he's looking at him. They're telling him, "You a pussy, man. You a pussy." You know what I mean? How you gonna borrow our shit and then check in? That's some bitch shit. And he's sitting there, fuck you, talking shit through the glass, right? Like, run his mouth, egging these dudes on.
You can get his ass, boy.
This is when you know some of these guards are just idiots. You're never safe. You never know what's going to happen next. The sergeant sitting at the desk, the other officer goes to go out the sergeant's office to go get some paperwork from the office across from him. And when he does, he opens the door. These dudes snatch the door open out the officer's hands, grab this dude out the chair, and just commence to fucking him up. Boom, 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 boom. Another dude does not got anything to do with anything. The sergeant, the other officer now, they're trying to break this fight up. Lop is in handcuffs. They're beating the shit out of Lop, just lumping Lop's ass up, right?
Can't even defend himself.
They're trying to break it up. Meanwhile, another dude's walking by that ain't got nothing to do with him while they're fighting. Reaches over, grabs the whole bag of Lop's commissary and walks off. All those
That's
dudes
tough.
went to the whole
That's tough.
assault, fighting. Lop didn't press no charge. They ended up transferring Lop up off the compound because he, second time he checked in, told him feared for his life, put me in a hole and refused to come out, ties up time and money. Just goes to show you, if you owe, you will pay.
You
One
will.
way or another. You might find a way to slide out of paying it.
With
You
Jit in
might
the
pull some
background.
slick shit. It's only gonna happen, but for so long. So yeah, if you owe somebody, do you gotta pay it? Damn right you're gonna pay it. You can pay it in a pound of food, or you can pay it in a pound of flesh. You know. And the last story I told you about, a dude that gave his ass up. They got a saying in prison. You know, blood on my knife, shit on my dick.
Yo.
That's not me. I used to hear that before I went to prison. I never knew that was a real thing. It's a real thing. When you owe somebody, several ways you're going to pay. They would prefer it be the way you're supposed to pay. Be a solid dude. Even out here in the real world, if you owe somebody, pay it. I said in one of my early videos, don't ever loan anybody anything you can't stand to lose. That's just good game. So I'm going to jump out of here, man. Just want to do this for y'all real quick. It's just going to take a long time to upload. I'm at work. But y'all know, man, these institutions, these places are just crazier worlds inside this world we live in.
Hell yeah.
And y'all know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to keep y'all entertained. Are you not entertained?
Salute.
And as always, it's Jay Williams. Let's live life. To all my real ones, and there are some real ones watching, because y'all still watching me. Y'all know how we do. Salute.
Hey, that was Jay Williams, man. I've been on Jay Will for damn like a couple months now, and I've been enjoying his content. Him and Bill Feasy. I feel like people are gonna fuck with Bill Feasy a lot. Um, but yeah, I mean, if y'all want more, Jay has a bunch of videos. A lot of them I already watched already, but there's some of them I haven't watched. So you can look at those together, react to them. If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button, share my shit, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. On us out.